Hi, I'm Rachel Kerr Schneider. Thanks for joining me today. You know, somebody just said to me, I'm desperate. And here's what I want to say. Nobody wears desperation well. Nobody. And you know, it's interesting how desperate it's all relevant, right? Desperate is all relevant. There are people dying from starvation. I'd say they're probably more desperate than somebody who needs to find the right pair of shoes to go with the dress for the event tomorrow night. Now, I know, probably not a right comparison, but desperate is relevant. And in that context, I also want to talk about depression, because we're headed into, or at least in the part of the country where I live in, and I will tell you that for me personally, the next couple of months, especially when daylight savings time hits and you wake up in the dark and you go to bed in the dark, for someone like me, it can be especially challenging because I love the sunshine. I love being outside. I love heat. And I have wrestled. I've had my own personal issues with depression. And yet, as I reflect back on the 3 years of John's journey, I think now that I have more quiet time, those moments probably hit me a little bit stronger. So I really have to guard my heart and my mind, not to not feel those feelings, because God gave them to us for a reason. And it's part of the grieving process. And one of the things that I have come to find as I've been talking to more women is that, you know, this society just doesn't allow time to grieve loss. And it doesn't have to be death necessarily as a loss. Divorce, there's loss there. Sickness, there's loss there. A job disappearing, there's loss there. There are so many losses that sometimes we as a society figure, okay, you can grieve that for, you know, a certain period of time and then be done. And I've actually had, you know, people wonder why I'm, you know, I'm not still grieving. Well, newsflash, I am. I am. I guard my heart very, very carefully. And I go to God about whatever is in my heart. And in supporting others who are in this particular grieving process, I have learned that whatever you're feeling, whenever you're feeling it, is okay. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. It's important that you do it. So, as I move into these winter months, and as you know, as the days become shorter, I will have to work harder at finding ways to guard my soul, to make sure that I am doing those things that bring me joy, whether it's lighting a candle, playing some favorite music, making a fire, spending more time reading, whatever it may be. This is the time of year where nature calls us to hibernate. So I'm not going to fight that completely because it's part of nature. But it is important to make sure that I don't become a recluse. And there is a big difference. So I am desperate for my time with Jesus every day. I gotta have it. So in that mode, desperate is good. All right? And I am guarding my heart against depression. And yet I know that sadness is okay. It's absolutely a-okay. You know, Jesus was sad. And Jesus had days when you know, he was kind of wondering what was going on. And I know those disciples got desperate. Those disciples got desperate. Jesus never got desperate, but I know those disciples did. And they didn't wear it well either. So if we're going to be if we're going to be desperate, let's be desperate to share Jesus. Let's be desperate to go to him. Let's be desperate to spend time with him. Those are the things that if I'm going to be desperate, those are the things I want to be desperate about. So just a few thoughts there. Thank you for joining me. I look forward to talking with you again soon.